Ah, in this video, we're gonna take a show and tell of guitar shredding on a keyboard. Now, when I was young, I started on piano, and eventually I wanted to learn guitar. The closest I got was violin. That doesn't quite count. But anyway, I grew up listening to Jan Hammer and a lot of other, well, not a lot, there were a few who used the guitar and processed it through, say, real guitar amplifiers and things. So it sounded a lot more like a stringed instrument instead of pressing down notes with their characteristic sound on a piano keyboard. Things like pitch bend, this wheel over here. So I'll play a note, and I'm using Native Instruments chords, just a world of sound. Let's see, I can point. Let's see if I can get it right here. Oh, depth perception is a funny thing. But towards the bottom there, it's the Yngwie's backyard patch, which is meant to sound like Yngwie Malmsteen. So you can't just play it as you would a piano. It doesn't quite sound natural. It's a good instrument, this one, because it has the distortion, it has some delay, the echoes. See, so that all adds characteristic to it. It makes it easier to get the faithful sound, or unfaithful, you can stretch things above. But the pitch bend, what I'm referring to here is this wheel, standard of keyboards. Because strings are like that. Okay, so that next kind of part I just jumped to, didn't mean to make it so sudden, but that's where we're getting into, if you take a broken chord, you can't just play it all at once. That's mostly unnatural for a guitar. However, you can break it up. And you notice how close we're getting to the sound now? With the shredding. And I don't know how to finger on a guitar. This is the closest my ear can come anyway. So let's take that and let's go to F major, this inversion. So let's slow that down so you get a good impression that I'm not trying to cheat you out of a lesson here. Okay, and we'll advance. Well, how about we add as the highest note of these? So slowly get faster. And it becomes a lot more like shredding, see? Right like that. And you can, like... Now, complementary to this would be like a crunch stack. So you can double up. This is where you can use an octave, like... Even the pedal a bit. Well, I don't know the pedal for that, actually. And it might remind you of some riffs, like... It's a catchy one, it really is. So, you could do this with any chord, but keep it moving to sound organic. It's going to sound too mechanical if you do the same chords. That's kind of getting into the jazz piano, but remember what I told you. So you can sustain for a bit, not forever. This is a mod wheel. Now this isn't universal, so it's going to shorten it. I moved it up like that. So long. Now move it up. Short. It's good for kind of more picking technique. Or you remember like Daft Punk, aerodynamic. The kind of chords. And there's no shame in practicing slow. I mean, that's how you're going to accelerate it. Just take it as a simple exercise. So I'm using my fourth finger, 4, 2, 1. Get carried away. So let's look at some other. Hopefully you'll have access to a guitar sound which is relatively of great quality. There's some others in there. I can just double click and it's going to load up a new one. It should appear in a few seconds. So here we have another. So this is more nasal. Yeah, closer. That's really close, isn't it? Dun, 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 dun. All with these kind of shredding techniques. So, see, if you have the opportunity to adjust parameters in your sound program, then you could do that to add more sharpness. But this is a good one. This one's a great one for shredding. And think of like a Bach, toccata, and a fugue. Well, hey, that's cool. Sometimes you slip like that. Some of these guitar patches are monophonic, meaning if you press a new note, then the previous one will not be on. And this one has pitch bend too. Just keep that in mind, keep moving. Some of these aren't strictly guitar. Let's see, Made in Rock. What does this sound like here? I like to just grab a patch and just get a quick feel for it. Oh, this one's more, not so much a shredding one, but a sustained one. So we'll touch a little bit on this. But basically that's how shredding is done on a keyboard. So this one could be used for more broken chords that are separated. Kind of like, Nirvana feel. Or Metallica sometimes. Remember, authenticity is not the only goal, because if authenticity was your only goal, you'd get a real guitar player or learn how to play it yourself. Look at where you can take things beyond, but understand the technique. So again, mod wheel up there. Sometimes I like listening to emo music, not because I'm depressed, but there's a lot of great melodies. It's a lot of emotion. This would be normally like two guitars, say two people in the same kind of guitar, or a bass would be down there. Just like that. And we can bring up, let's see what other kinds of synth magic we've got going on here. Dirty 6-string. Sometimes I don't expect, these are all in the distorted electric guitar section. So I expect them to have a certain, but there doesn't seem to be any sound coming out of that one. I don't know what's up with that. Let's see if this is any better. Okay, that's not meant to be a totally realistic guitar. Funky guitar, that may be too off the mark stylistically here. But we will take a mosey. Oh yeah. Let's see. One quick thing about playing a funk guitar and stuff, be aware of your slipped blues notes like that was just a quick detour though. But anyway, oh, Lonely Stage. Well, we'll try this one last, and maybe end on something quite beautiful, unexpectedly so. I always imagine music videos like for this, like teens breaking up, or you call it my, what's that show on the kids, WB, or what is it? Dawson's Creek. I haven't watched things like, or the OC, I guess, the newer generation. Take your time. One thing with mod wheel to be careful is if you have a chord, they'll all bend. Like that. Which can lead to out of tune chromaticism and stuff, if that's undesirable. See? Make it very expressive, like I'm moving my wheel up and down to adjust length, note length. Just like that. All right. One more shred. Let's return to English backyard. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. It's hard to find consensus on these things. So remember what we learned, okay? Take any chord, break it up, one note at a time. You play it slow to fast. You can shred like that across the black keys. It's like Bill and Ted, the Wild Stallions. Okay, that wasn't that smooth, so sometimes you need two hands ready. Keep different kinds of runs in mind. So 1, 2, up in 3s, down in 4s. Let's do it a bit slower, because this is important. Down in 4s. Yeah, that's the basics anyway of getting into shredding. It's not the comprehensive all at all, but what I aim to do with these videos is just get you really interested and curious about sound, because a lot of times, especially with today's technology, it's a lot easier and affordable than some people might make it out to be. Don't believe someone who say, oh, you can't do it, you have to get a big studio full of sound and stuff, because you can get an amazing amount of instruments for under $1,000 even, or under $500. Some of these software studios on boxes. Of course, it helps always to have good controller. You can't just do this on a mouse. Two-handed technique.